Hello and welcome, Chippewa fans, to the final Soccer Insider here, the 2012 season. CMUChippewas.com, Justin Hoff with you. And what a season it was for the CMU soccer team as they became the first MAC women's soccer program to earn an at-large berth in the NCAA tournament. To talk about this past season and more, we're joined by interim head coach Ian Carey. Coach, really what a phenomenal season it was for your squad. I mentioned at the top that you earned an at-large berth in the NCAA tournament. First ever time for a women's soccer program in the MAC. But, what does that say about the CMU soccer program and, more importantly, the conference as a whole? The level of play has really grown.
Yeah, like over the year and a half that I've been here, I've seen the majority of the teams that we play against in conference, the level has got so much higher. We were always going into games as maybe the favourites, and now we've gone into a couple of games as the underdogs. I think that is huge for the conference by means of when we go into recruiting trails, we're looking at players now that maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago would never consider going and playing in the MAC. Now that they realise that, you go and play against the top teams around the nation, you're going to get national exposure. It's a great recruiting tool. The success here at CMU has created a huge recruiting tool, and we've proved that getting that at-large bid has been fantastic. The amount of support we've got from the other teams within the conference, emails, phone calls, just congratulating us and saying, hey guys, you've broke that glass ceiling for further teams in the MAC to go and achieve things like what we did this year. It shows that anything is possible with hard work on the practice field, and hopefully, going forward, the future is looking really bright here at Central.
Coach, you mentioned a recruiting tool, and I don't know if there's a better recruiting tool than maybe looking at the RPI and where you guys finished this year. 36 out of 323 Division I programs. Yeah. Pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's been the hard work that's been put in over the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, even like when Tom was here as head coach with regards to the standard of teams that we would play pre-conference. Like this year, going away to Penn State and playing West Virginia at Penn State's tournament and beating them 2-0. Traveling to Marquette, getting a tie. It's huge for the program, and it's games like that when it comes to your conference, you've set your stall up. Your team is ready to go into conference, and to get the RPI at 36 has been phenomenal. And you just have to give credit to the players. This year's preseason conference was so tough, and to come out of it the way we did, it was fantastic. And I do believe that experience, like whether they were a freshman, whether they were a senior, will last for the rest of their lives. They'll walk away after 4 years here at Central and go, wow, we played some really big teams and we matched some really, really, really big teams.
I know in the season preview before the season started, I joked with Katie Slaughter about that non-conference schedule, and we really came up with one word, brutal. But the team got through it, and of course you look at the non-conference schedule, and then you look at Michigan, the team that you played in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Of course, you lost that one in overtime, a very, very hard-fought loss where you were leading with 40 seconds left, and they score a goal, and then it sends it to overtime, and they score one then. But overall, 4 teams that you played during the season in 2012 made it all the way to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. You're looking at stuff like this and we should be there. We were just so unlucky. 41 seconds, as you said, on the clock when we conceded an equalizer. And, we gave everything. We gave everything against Michigan. I believe we put on a good performance. Again, we've received emails, phone calls, you name it, from everybody, around the country. To get noticed by people like that, it's fantastic. But again, it's credit to the players. The players have been fantastic over the year, and hopefully these experiences of playing against the likes of Michigan in the NCAAs will increase the hunger that they have going into this spring. That will work really, really, really hard and continue into the fall, so that we will hopefully, go one better and win in conference this year, but also make sure that by winning conference, we don't have to rely on an at-large bid to get into the NCAAs.
Coach Carey talking about all these emails and phone calls. Man, your emails and phone calls blowing up. Must have a lot of work there to do, but
It's enjoyable work. It's enjoyable work. When people are calling in, and again, we can only do so much as the coaches. We can only do so much. As soon as the players cross that line, it's up to them. So we have to rely on, have they taken on board the homework we've done on the opposition, etc. And for the most part, they've been fantastic. And we did everything we could. We did everything we could against Michigan, and obviously it was bittersweet.
As we look at some of the seniors on this team, 8 seniors in all, multiple NCAA tournament appearances for them, really led by Bailey Brandon, Katie Slaughter in the defense there, and also the goalkeeper, Stephanie Turner. But this class, as you said, a lot of experience. You really go away really proud of these 8 seniors.
Oh, yeah, without shadow of a doubt. Speaking before we played Miami in the conference tournament final, it was like, the experience among that group was unreal. They had been through it all before. They're leaving here as the most winningest class in the history of CMU. They're going away with 2 MAC titles, and they're going away with 3 visits to the NCAAs. So, like, an experience like that for those seniors is unbelievable. The whole spine of the team was that senior class. Steph was absolutely fantastic in goal. Bailey Brandon, Katie Slaughter, 2 unbelievable centre backs. Obviously, Bailey getting Defensive MAC Player of the Year. That was fantastic for the university and also fantastic for her. Katie Slaughter as well. Katie Slaughter was just phenomenal. To me, she was such a role model. She always gave 100%. She's your total professional. Then you've got Ashley Mahalia, fantastic midfielder who's been called into the Filipino national team. Autumn Hawkins, after her injury last year, we were doubtful whether we'd even see her kick a ball this year, and to come back the way she did, unbelievable. Laura Twiddle, what can you say? Laura knows where the back of the net is. And also Samantha Brens. Like, Spud has been phenomenal and a character on and off the field. Finally, out of the senior class will be Charlize McLemore. Char, in the year and a half I've been here, has just, she's been a great role model as well for everybody. Spend the last year and a half with them has been absolutely fantastic, and they will be missed.
We look at the freshman class transitioning from the seniors to the freshmen. I think the freshmen have a chance to maybe in a couple of years be similar to that senior class. As we look at some of these freshmen, of course, you go back on the October 7th game against Northern Illinois, overtime victory for your squad. In 82 minutes, you played a player down. Kristen Chiesa comes up with a goal. And as you look at the whole class, you talked about Seebeck, you talked about Baston, you talked about Rotherham. I mean, this is a class that has a lot of ability and a lot of potential, yeah. Coach.
Oh, absolutely. Danielle Rotherham, to me, is somebody who has no fear as a player. Josie Seebeck, no fear as a player. And whether it is that, they were freshmen, they were intimidated by nothing, and they just gave it 100%. I just believe that. I think that's going to be them all the way through their college career.
I think they're also winners too, and early on, learning from those seniors. I think Chippewa Soccer is definitely in great hands with those freshmen. As we look at your team, 15 games you won in 2012, 6 players scored 3+ goals. Sophomore Laura Goss led the team in scoring with 5 goals. Then you had 3 players that tallied 10 or more points in 2012. All 3 of those players will return next year. Goss, Rotherham, and then Jennifer Gassman, who will be a senior. Yeah. I mean, the team is still in good hands. Even though you lose all those seniors, you have a lot of players, especially that know how to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that in any walk of life, no matter whatever sport it is, if you don't have somebody who scores the points or whatever it may be, put the ball in the hoop, whatever, if we can't score, you're not going to have a winning program. Laura Goss, to me, had a great season. I was so proud of her. Bia Gassman as well. Bia to me is one of those players that she always wants to work harder and harder and harder. And obviously you've mentioned Danielle. Danielle, I hope she's going to tear the MAC apart again next year. But the 3 of those together, they will be hard to handle. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to having those 3 back again.
Final one for you, Coach. Obviously we talked about leadership. We really went through the roster, talked a lot about the talent that the freshmen had, and we touched on the seniors. But you got some upperclassmen next year that will come back. Names that we haven't mentioned yet: Grace LeBrecq, Estee Outcalt, Kaylee Schlosser, Tori Kennard. These individuals will really help lead your team. And I mean, you talk about these 4, and you talk about the freshmen from this season. The future is as bright as ever for CMU soccer.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of working quite closely with Steph Turner and Grace LeBrecq over the season, and Grace is unreal. She's a total model professional. Tori Kennard, she'll be another senior. She had a great game against Michigan. Estee Alcott, as you mentioned, Kaylee Schlosser. There's leaders straight away. Nicky Samuels, another one that will be coming as a senior. You know, and obviously you mentioned BL already. Yeah, like the senior class have had a really good senior class that have just graduated as role models. I know they're very close, and they will be a very, very similar class. Well knitted, all in it together, and I do believe that they will lead the program in the right direction going into 2013.
Well, we really look forward to that season, Coach. Thanks for the time all year long, and congratulations on the terrific year.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
That's Ian Carey, interim head coach for the Chippewas. That wraps up our 2012 coverage of the CMU women's soccer team. Be sure to stay tuned to CMUChippewas.com for the latest news and notes surrounding the team as we get ready for the spring season. For everyone here at the CMU Sports Network, I'm Justin Hoff. Thank you for watching.